Trump seems to corrupt everything he touches. This is US soccer player Balogun getting a red card in the last game. Then Trump asked FIFA to review his suspension, and suddenly, he's clear to play against Belgium this week. If the US wins, Trump now made it look rigged. Tell me, did this deserve
a moment of silence for the entire country of Belgium today? Because just when you thought that Belgium was about to give the United States of America a taste of but that one other guy and other country has been getting away with corruption for like 20 plus years.
Turns out Donald Trump is the one that called FIFA to overturn the suspension of Folarin Balogun, and the world is calling foul. Now, if you missed it today, FIFA announced that the suspension of Folarin Balogun has been lifted and he will be eligible to play against Belgium tomorrow. And at first, everybody suspected that Donald Trump was involved in this, but both FIFA and the White House denied any involvement. But now, according to the New York Times, who spoke to 3 sources close to the situation, say, yeah, Donald Trump called him on Wednesday to get that suspension overturned. And lo and behold, here we are. Now, I agree, this looks bad. There is no doubt about it. The corruption looks like it runs deep, as FIFA is very corrupt, and so is Donald Trump. Merge those two together, and what do you get? But I would say that this is probably the right thing in the end, as I don't believe the red card was ever warranted. But if you think the world was rooting against the United States before this moment, you have no idea. Buckle up, because the second the United States loses in this tournament, we are going to hear.
Hello, this is Global Updates by Betha Kabaka. You know, when this story first started making the rounds, a lot of people could not believe it. The claim is that Donald Trump personally called FIFA President Gianni Infantino to try to get Folarin Balogun's suspension overturned. Whether you are a soccer fan, a political junkie, or just someone who enjoys unusual headlines, this is the kind of story that immediately gets people's attention. So let's get into the remaining clips. And now, before we get into the remaining clips, this report is indeed accurate, and it raises some interesting questions about where politics and sports intersect. FIFA has always insisted that its disciplinary process is independent and based on its own rules. That's because the organization wants fans and players to believe that decisions are made fairly, regardless of how famous or influential someone might be. So let's get into these clips. I'll be back.
Never has it been so clear that FIFA are corrupt. What's happened here is absolutely outrageous. FIFA have allowed Balogun to play the next game against Belgium. The round of 16 game, a massive game for USA, no doubt. They've allowed him to play even though he got a red card. They've just decided, yeah, that doesn't count. Under Article 27, which is basically that they can choose whether to not go with what the officiating says and just say, yeah, no red card happens. I've never seen this in my life. Have you? Yes, Ronaldo got his red card revoked before the tournament started, but that was outside the tournament when he got it, so you can kind of justify it. This one makes no sense. Just read Article 27. What a load of nonsense that they've just decided to chuck in because Infantino and Donald Trump are like this, and he wanted to help him out, help out America. It's just outrageously corrupt. Like, I'll put my hands up if you give me another example of when that's happened in the past. But it's never happened in the past. And then you get Donald Trump replying here, and then the White House going, USA, USA. It's like they're laughing in our face. I've never wanted Belgium to win so bad in my life, because there needs to be some sort of karma or justification or repercussion for this, I should say, because it's absolutely outrageous. I should add, I do think the red card initially was a bit harsh, because he was just jumping. But at the end of the day, a red card is a red card. There is no world where if that was Harry Kane, if that was Vinny Jr. that it gets revoked for a game, because they've set a precedent now that no red card has any repercussion for the next game within this tournament, because they have to keep on with that same energy. But they won't, because it's him that's basically said, do it for me, please. Just like the Club World Cups in America as well. It's all just a joke.
The Belgian manager had responded to Balogun's red card being overturned. So yesterday we saw the news that Balogun's red card had been overturned after Donald Trump thanked the FIFA for reversing the great injustice. And it's now to believe that the Belgian manager has responded. So the Belgian manager has said, I didn't know April Fool's Day at FIFA is on July the 5th. Never knew this. If I'm correct, this is the first time this has happened in the entire history of the World Cup. Nathan Ngoy received a red card versus Iran and didn't play the next match. Go and read the statement of the Belgian Federation, because this is the only right opinion. I mean, to be honest, he has a point. I just find it coincidence that all of a sudden the White House make a call to the FIFA president, and then all of a sudden Balogun gets his red card revoked. Like, honestly, like, I find it funny. Like, this is one of the reasons why we didn't want Trump at this the World Cup being at America, because we knew Trump with his power was going to try and do something. And if America go on to win, and imagine Balogun gets the winner for USA, oh my days, this will be massive.
So, this idea of United States president picking up the phone to lobby FIFA would naturally spark debate. Some people would see it as simply trying to help an American player. Others would argue that sporting decisions should never be influenced by political figures, no matter who they are. And Folarin Balogun has become one of the brightest talents representing the United States. Every time he is unavailable, fans worry about what it means for the team's chances in important matches. So it's understandable why supporters would want him back on the field as soon as possible. Yeah, and at the same time, rules exist for a reason. If a player is suspended under FIFA's regulations, those rules are supposed to apply equally to everyone. Fans often complain when they think star players receive special treatment. If influential people are seen trying to intervene, it could undermine confidence in the integrity of the sport. We have Donald Trump. He has never been shy about involving himself in major sporting events. And throughout his public life, he is commented on athletes, leagues, championships, and international competitions. With the United States preparing to play an even bigger role in global soccer, it's not surprising that his name sometimes appears in stories connected to the sport. Gianni Infantino has also developed relationships with many world leaders, and as FIFA president, he regularly meets presidents, prime ministers, monarchs, and government officials, because hosting international tournaments often requires cooperation between governments and FIFA, and those meetings are a normal part of his job. However, there is an important distinction between discussing preparations for tournaments and attempting to influence disciplinary decisions. If someone were genuinely asking FIFA to reverse a suspension, many people would question whether that crosses a line. And this story also reminds us how quickly headlines spread online. A dramatic claim can race across social media before all the facts are confirmed. And that's why it's always worth checking whether it's credible anyway. And sport fans are incredibly passionate. And when their favorite players are suspended, emotions run high. People look for explanations. People speculate about what happened behind the scenes. And sometimes extraordinary rumors begin circulating. That's part of the modern media landscape. And if political influence became a normal part of FIFA's disciplinary process, it would create a dangerous precedent. Fans from every country would start asking whether powerful governments receive preferential treatment while smaller nations are left to follow the rules without exception. And that would damage trust in international football. On the other hand, if this report turns out to be exaggerated, It's just another reminder that, viral stories should be approached carefully. So ultimately, what most fans want is fairness. They want matches decided by the players on the pitch, not by political influence behind closed doors. They want suspensions to be based on the rules, and they want every player to be treated equally, regardless of nationality, fame, or political connections. And that's why this story has generated so much discussion. It is not just about Donald Trump or Folarin Balogun. It's about the independence of sports institutions and whether they can remain free from outside pressure. And as always, the best approach is to follow the verified facts as they emerge. If official statements or reliable reporting provide more details, those facts should guide the conversation. So, just tell me, what do you think? If a political leader contacts FIFA on behalf of a player, is that simply advocating for their country's interests, or does it cross a line by interfering with the integrity of the game? Just share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss future reaction and commentary videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video. This video is meant for educational purposes and commentary purposes as well.